Hello, MGTOW. Hello, men. This is Howard Dare. Thanks for stopping by. So, I want to talk about how to recognize a psychopath, because in this day and age, I think it's a very important skill. But first, I want to say thank you to everybody who's been stopping by, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, even donating. I really appreciate it. And let me remind you, go ahead and click on that subscribe button and click on the little bell next to the subscribe button and accept the notifications, because YouTube is like unsubscribing people from particular channels and promoting other channels. So if you're interested in this, type of content and you find it useful, by all means, subscribe, click on notify, go ahead and consider even donating, because YouTube has really cut the bottom out from under particular type of message that I think is really useful and important to men in this day and age. And we're going to lose the message. It's just going to be replaced with a bunch of female worshiping sort of information. So let me tell you what I'm talking about. How to recognize a psychopath. Because in this day and age, they're a lot more common than people want to realize. And especially coming from a sense of entitlement and privilege. So it's not just a female thing. But a Facebook friend of mine shared an article with me that was shared with him, and I'll point to it in the links below. But it's an article, and I want to read it, and I think you'll find it really useful. So here it is. Psychopaths make up 1% of the general population, and contrary to popular belief, most of them aren't serial killers. They're manipulative people who intentionally cause harm to others without any sense of remorse or responsibility. Hey, let me say, while I'm reading this article, you might want to think about whether or not you recognize some of these character traits in some of the people in your life, and I think you will. Continuing on. Psychopaths are social chameleons who can fit perfectly into any situation. They are experts at morphing their identities to get what they want and mirroring others for money, sex, and, most commonly, attention. Because of their ability to idealize others, psychopaths are often perceived as charming, innocent, and fun to unsuspecting onlookers and casual acquaintances. But there is another side to them. When they're feeling threatened or bored, a psychopath's true colors start to come out. They draw you into arguments that are unlike anything you've ever experienced. The argument usually stems from something hurtful or manipulative they've done, but you'll quickly find that you're the one defending yourself. Here are 6 warning signs that the person you are arguing with is a psychopath, and it's time to disengage. Number 1, they lie and make excuses. Everyone messes up every now and then, but psychopaths recite excuses more often than they follow through with promises. Their actions never match up with their words, and their lies disappoint you so frequently that you actually feel relieved when they do something halfway decent. They've conditioned you to become grateful for their mediocre treatment. Well, that sounds very familiar, doesn't it, people? I've definitely encountered people like that, where it's actually more trouble to work with them and get them to do something than it is for you to just do it yourself. And the whole time, they're just like playing stupid. Or they might actually be stupid, or they just might be lazy and hurtful and manipulative. Number 2, their tone is condescending and patronizing. Psychopaths often try to make you unhinged in an attempt to gain the upper hand. Throughout the entire argument, you'll notice they keep a calm and cool demeanor. It's almost as if they're mocking you, gauging your reactions to see how much further they can push. When you finally react emotionally, that's when they'll raise their eyebrows, smirk, tell you to calm down, or feign disappointment. Exactly. This is a common practice of, the nagging woman or girlfriend or co-worker, that won't stop finding fault or explaining how you fail to meet up with their expectations. And then when you finally say, shut up, I've had enough, stop trying to be a backseat driver, they play the victim. Sound familiar? I'll bet it does. Number 3, they employ mind-blowing hypocrisy. In heated arguments, psychopaths have no shame and will often begin labeling you with their own horrible qualities. It goes beyond projection because most people project unknowingly. Psychopaths know they are smearing you with their own flaws because they are seeking a reaction. The point is to lure you in so that you react and seem crazy to onlookers. Oh yeah, this is a very common practice with, people that are emotionally unhinged. And you can understand because their whole world, it's an emotional manipulation. That's how they get by in life. So when you want to work with them and you want to say, hey, let's, work on this project, let's do this job, they're like, well, these are my feelings about it. And it's like, well, nobody really cares about anybody's feelings. We care about results. But no, the psychopath is manipulative. And that's just, my observations. Continuing on, number 4, they seem to have multiple personalities. When arguing with a psychopath, you're likely to notice a variety of their personas. It's sort of like good cop, bad cop, demented cop, stalker cop, scary cop, baby cop. Once you begin pulling away from their manipulation and lies, they'll start apologizing and flattering you. If that doesn't work, they'll suddenly start insulting the qualities they just flattered 2 minutes ago. As they struggle to regain control, you'll be left wondering who you've been talking to. Yeah, isn't that the truth, man? It's like you think you're talking to a guy and then the next minute you're talking to some crazy bitch. When you're dealing with a man and he goes off into this, one of these emotional tirades and things like that, this is something that I want you guys to kind of, understand. Have your feelings, express yourself, but then move on. Don't hold on to this stuff. It's poisonous. It's toxic. It's like too much estrogen. Express yourself and then move on. Okay, moving on. Number 5, they play the eternal victim. Somehow, their bad behavior will always lead back to a conversation about their abusive past or crazy ex or an evil boss. You'll end up feeling bad for them, even when they've done something horribly wrong. And once they've successfully diverted your attention, everything will get messy again. Psychopaths cry abuse, but in the end, you're the only one being abused. Let that be another red flag, right? When you meet up with somebody and they start complaining about all the people in their past, like, these are the excuses for my current condition. It's like, no. What you're going to want to do is, you're going to want to meet up with somebody who you are impressed with, who does not need to make excuses, and who is a living example, of the very qualities that you need to get ahead in life, which is kind of like the, opposite of the eternal victim psychopath, right? Of course. Number 6. You feel the need to explain basic human emotions to them. Yeah, I have this one a lot, right? It's like you're going to have to explain to them, what basic human respect and dignity means. And then they'll start telling you things like, you have to earn my respect. It's like, oh, yeah, great. You've heard that line 100 times, 1,000 times. You don't even know what it means. You feel the need to explain basic human emotions to them. You'll find yourself attempting to explain emotions like empathy and kindness, guided by the thought that if they understand why you're hurt, they'll stop hurting you. You're not the first person who has attempted to see the good in them, and you'll not be the last. They behave this way because they know that it hurts you. There's only one way out of these arguments. You need to disengage. Arguments with psychopaths leave you drained. You might spend hours, even days, obsessing over the argument. If you think you have the perfect response to their latest outrageous comment, they planted it there on purpose. They're trying to provoke you. They're trying to draw you in. And this was by Jackson Mackenzie, okay? And this was just shared with me on my Facebook page. And you guys should go to my Facebook page and you should friend me. You definitely should. You should visit my Twitter page as well, right? So there you go, right? Great article. Really helpful. Because I think that these are the exact qualities and behaviors that we encounter when arguing and interacting with a certain type of person. And I think that the tip-off, I think that we all have some of these qualities, right? But I think the tip-off comes when the person is just consistently, like this. They're consistent, like you're never getting a point across to them. You're never successfully completing a job with them. It's just them, manipulating things to their advantage. And it becomes very tiresome. And you can tell that they're trapped, within their own ego. And that if you have to interact with them, that you're going to get, trapped into that kind of a mindset as well. It's a psychopathic mindset. And you need to disengage from it. Now, some people might suggest in a crazy world, a psychopathic mindset is ideal. Well, there might be some truth in that. When you go to war, be the warrior, no doubt about it. But don't live there. Don't make that your only place in life. This is kind of like a bad destination. Dealing with people like this, it's like you're moving through a bad area of town, you know what I mean? Or you're just going through a bad area on your way to a better area. You don't stay there and move in and hang out there. That's my advice. That's my take. So I'm going to leave it at that for now. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, donate, and join me again, Howard Dare, as I plan to have more content for you. Thank you, everyone.